Baik, terima kasih Pak Edi Sugianto untuk waktunya, presentasi yang juga telah disampaikan. Selanjutnya kita juga masih akan mendengarkan keynote speech ya, H2OAI. Ini akan disampaikan oleh Sandip Sharma, selaku Director AI Solution Engineering. Saya mau menyapa dulu Pak Sandip Sharma. Sandip, hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys doing? Can you hear me all right?
We are all good here. Thank you very much. Dan are you ready now?
Yes, I'm ready.
All
Shall I
right
start?
then. Yeah, time is yours.
Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. I'm super excited to present H2O to this event today. Are you able to see my screen? Are you guys able to see my screen?
Yes, Sandip.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can, Sandip. It's
So
clear.
I'm
It's
super
clear.
excited here presenting how we are democratizing AI to accelerate the intelligent experiences that customers can gain from this platform, right? So this afternoon, what I'm going to talk about is, with all my experience in delivering solutions for customers in Asia Pacific and Japan, what we have seen is that this is an experience economy, right? We do see millennials and Gen Z representing the growth of the workforce. These generations were born online, so they basically have not gone through the same what we have done with using paper. So they were born online and they use these new gadgets basically to do their day-to-day activities, right? So they want to engage in a manner that is most convenient in the moment, right? So they want kind of an omni-channel experience. They want hyper personalization. Everything should be personalized to their taste. And they need to be guided. They don't want to read any manuals, right? They need to be having a guided experience. And also, it should be very, very simplified. So they don't want any complicated stuff. And it's time to market is key to them. So since this is a consumer economy and it is driven by experience, we have to provide these three, omni-channel engagement, hyper-personalization, and simplified processes. And how does AI help in powering this kind of transformation? Well, if you look at the history, right, we saw the invent of computers in 1980, followed by the internet in 1990, followed by digital experience in the form of BI, business intelligence in 2000, and then came big data in 2010. And as we are progressing in the technology space, we are experiencing AI, which is artificial intelligence, which is replacing almost all traditional rule-based engines, which were all programmed by developers. Now it's pretty much automated using machine learning in terms of new development, right? So AI is the new, I would say the new technology for most of the CIOs who are implementing this for any kind of business decisioning. And what we are seeing is that this is leading to intelligent experiences as we talk about, the 2020, this decade, right? So this is going to automate a lot of, experience that you would be providing to your customers on this platform. Hence, any digital data and AI have to be powered, have to be used to power this kind of transformation. This is a fact. Okay, and this is a fact that every CIO in the company knows that 75% of the C-suite executives believe if they do not scale their AI implementation in the next 5 years, they're going to risk going out of business, right? Immediately, what we are seeing is, and this is why McKinsey, and McKinsey has shown that there's at least 8% jump or lift in the profitability. Okay, so this is basically your EBIT margins, and this is a figure which is 2 years ago. In fact, this would be much higher today if you look at it, right? I'm sorry, let me just close this. Right, so generally what you would see is the laggards would be suffering in terms of business, whereas people who have started adopting AI would be at least doing 3.5 to 4 times more business than their competitors. So it is a no-brainer that AI is here to stay, and most companies are adopting artificial intelligence in all the processes they have in place. So how is H2O helping customers who are moving towards this AI transformation journey. So first of all, let me just give you a brief company background, and this is just a quick background so that you know what we are talking about here. So H2O.ai is a company which has nemesis in open source in Silicon Valley. So we are founded in 2012. The way the company was developed was we basically hired world's 10% grandmasters. So these are data scientists who are like, competing on the Kaggle platform, and they excel there. So we basically have about 22 grandmasters working in our engineering team, and the world number 1, world number 2, 5, and 9, they all are part of our engineering team. So that's how the company, is growing and moving towards servicing our customers. More than 20,000 companies in the world, which is part like 50% of the global 500 or Fortune 500 companies, are already using H2O in their processes for AI and AI related projects, right? Recently, we got our funding announced. In fact, it was over the weekend. I'm not sure if you're familiar with CBA. CBA is the largest bank in Asia, which is Commonwealth Bank of Australia, with $180 billion of market cap, right? They invested recently $100 million in H2O over the weekend. And if you follow this news, you would notice that this is our Series E round. We just came in, and H2O, along with CBA, we also have Goldman Sachs, Pivot Investments, Venture. These are the other investors within the company. But prior to CBA and prior to Goldman Sachs, we also had investors like Ping An, Wells Fargo, and in fact, I understand that Pa Agus, who is basically the CIO for Wells Fargo, he is Indonesian as well, and he was the first one to introduce us to Indonesia market. NVIDIA is also an investor. So these are some of the top investors within our company. So our main motto is to make AI as easy as possible so that it can be adopted not by just data scientists, but also by business users in their day-to-day business processes. So talking about this AI movement, right? First of all, we believe in the community. So hence we have our open source. Our beginnings, our nemesis is in the grassroots, where we believe in efforts where it is driven by the community, right? So we basically have a very strong open source offering that is being used by more than 20,000 companies around the world. Second most important thing is the freedom to innovate. So we basically are not just limited to a small group of data scientists. Maths belongs to all, right? So this is maths, right? So maths is accessible to any person who may be an analyst, who may be a student, who may be a business guy. So as long as you have maths, you should be able to innovate and create your own science on this platform. So we have worked hard to create AI using AI and providing many different types of user, the barrier-free access to the power of machine learning, where you don't have to be a coder or a developer or know Python or know Java or any of those programming languages. So that's exactly what we are doing as a company. We are giving you a platform which will allow you to innovate on this platform irrespective of your background as what kind of user you are. Right? When it comes to empathy, we believe that customers are at the forefront. Our product is driven by customer demands and what the customer is asking for and the community is looking for, right? So in order to achieve our goals, we have to make sure that customers are happy when they use our platform. So we are going to build our platform in a way that will make success at the core of it. So as long as you are successful in delivering your use case on our platform, and we try to do that using our success program, right? And then doing for good, we tie up with all the universities, healthcare associations around the world, where we provide our platform for free. So for example, NUS in Singapore has now started using it in their master's program, where they teach not only how to build AI models, but also how to interpret and explain these models. Because transparency is a big thing in artificial intelligence. What is happening is when you use these open source algorithms, it creates a lot of these complex models, which is very hard to understand and explain. especially to the ones who are not data scientists. So NUS has taken a special effort and collaborating with H2O to basically teach explainable AI or XAI, or it could be called interpretable AI, the way you look at it, or responsible AI, right? We also take on or jump on any opportunity like, uh, predicting bushfires or, extreme weather conditions to basically service this community, right? So these are the 4 pillars of our company, and these are also what we see as an AI movement in the world around us. And what we have been doing is we have been extremely successful in this region with our movement, right? So with this AI movement, what we have achieved is we have achieved more than 70 plus customers in the last 2 years in Asia itself. So if you look at the customers in the middle, like Panasonic, DBS, LG, Japan Rail East, Tianjin, these are all customers who basically, sorry, I jumped ahead. Petronas, these are all local Asian customers who have adopted our platform. And Commonwealth Bank, who has been a customer, is now also become an investor in H2O, right? Largest bank in Australia, largest bank in Singapore, the largest bank in India, who are already on this platform, right? So we also have been working with other enterprises like the pharmaceuticals, the CPGs like Unilever, Procter & Gamble, Coca-Cola in this space. So we are not just a solution or a platform for financial services. It can be used for supply chain. It can be used in manufacturing. It can be used in banking. It can be used in insurance and across the board. In fact, one of our largest deployments in Indonesia is for healthcare. So we are collaborating with a local company in Indonesia to build a platform called AMS, which is Arogya Mitra Sejati, which is a healthcare commerce platform, which is planned to be used by all the hospital chains, like the Berjaya Hospital is one of the first ones to onboard on this platform, right? And the others will follow. So we have been investing quite heavily in Asia, where we are growing significantly our footprint across Japan, Korea, Australia, New Zealand, and China, India, Singapore, and Malaysia, right? And we are slowly venturing into, as we get out of COVID, into Indonesia, Thailand, and Vietnam. These will be our tier 2 markets to venture into. So let's go back to the theme, which is democratizing AI. How do you democratize AI, right? So a lot has been talked about AI, machine learning. How do we make it simple on our platform is making sure that not only expert data scientists, which could be 1 or 2 in your company, but also providing you with the auto ML, which can be leveraged by business analysts. We provide a middleware as well, which basically can be leveraged by DevOps and engineers. And then you can very quickly and easily develop apps on this platform. So your software developers can make use of simple programming languages like Python to quickly build some apps that can be consumed by the business users in the form of an app store in the app in the app store, right? So we kind of provide a platform which will not only enable your data scientists, but also your business users as well as your software developers to create AI apps that can be consumed end to end by the business user. So this is where the actual power of AI is leveraged at the very end, where business users start adopting the platform in terms of making decisions on a day-to-day basis, just like you have adopted dashboards in the 2000, where you were using business intelligence. So how do we enable that is by providing this on a hybrid cloud platform. So there are 3 key components. There is a make. So the make will allow you to quickly make use of our auto ML drag and drop platform to build models, to build data science models. There is absolutely no coding required at this point. This can be used by novice users, by business users, or it could be used by data scientists as well to quickly do their experimentation and building the models, understanding what is in the model, and so on and so forth. Once the models are built, you can deploy them for consumption on our MLOps platform. So is there a question, or I can continue? Maybe I can continue. Okay. And then, on the Innovate platform, this is where, your software developers can consume these models very quickly. We provide a app front end where they can quickly build these, application style, modules where that can be directly consumed by business users. For example, you want to look at the risk score of all your customers, or you want to look at customers who are at risk. That can be quickly built as a dashboard so that business users can straight away consume that as an input, right? So going a one step below, how do you start? You start with an idea. So let's say you have an idea where you want to reduce churn or increase profitability, or catch fraud before they happen. That idea. So with that idea, you start building the model, and this building the model will involve things like feature engineering, machine learning algorithms. You would like to then understand what went into those algorithms, and low code development. So this whole make piece is automated within our platform as well. And then it comes to operate, which is basically deployment of these machine learning models. And then finally, it is the consumption, which will actually have an impact on the final use case. So I'll go one step at a time. So if you look at the make piece first. So in the make, we are talking about feature transformation. This will include things like, if we are dealing with, say, for example, a very simple use case, show me who are the customers at risk. So I would like to get all the features related to the customer and create some new features based on some, data science, knowledge. That is all we automate. So you don't have to really write any piece of code. We will create new advanced enhanced features from on top of existing raw features that you already provide to the system. Those enhanced features will then be leveraged by the state-of-the-art machine learning models. And this is where a lot of iterations will happen. So we basically make use of, genetic algorithms to evolve and choose the best possible model in the end. It can handle both supervised and unsupervised machine learning models, right? It can also create kind of a leaderboard if required. It can do simple time series forecasting, or it can do very advanced deep learning NLP based, either models or computer vision based models. And when you use these kind of, boosting models or tree based models, or you are using neural nets, you basically are creating something very complex, which generally, is not understandable by the auditors or the people who are signing off on the business. So for them, we have a very interesting explainable AI module. And this is what has made us really, really popular with the large financial services organization, because this kind of makes it like a white box, right? So it's not a black box where you don't know what has happened. It's just giving you a prediction. So explainable AI would open up the model and will able to explain in layman's term what were the exact reasons that you made this customer risky, or you denied a loan to a customer, or you denied a credit to a customer. That can be explained very easily using our explainable AI model platform, right? And then all of this is packaged together in a very low code development environment where there are some pre-built components that you can just drag and drop, and you can create a business use case. So this is what our make does, and this is all a UI driven. Once you have built a model, you would like to operate or deploy this to production or development or UAT or SIT, and this is where containerization becomes important. So with a single click, our models can be containerized and can be deployed. So this has features like model validation, model monitoring, model transparency, low latency model runtime, champion challenger deployment, A/B testing, and stuff like that, right? So all of this is available on our Operate platform, which is also called as ML Ops, right? So this is primarily for DevOps guys who are going to manage and monitor the models which are being developed by the business and for the business. And then finally, the Innovate part, where your solution or software developers are consuming these models, right? So they can consume these models to build apps like AutoDoc, or auto text labeling, or model validation apps, or it could be a credit scoring app. So these apps quite a few of these data science apps are provided out of the box on our platform, so you don't have to build anything. But if you have something very specific to the organization, for example, you want in the manufacturing space, you are looking at remaining useful life of any of these machineries, heavy machineries that you are using. In oil and gas, we have been working with Petronas just to do that, because these are $1 million, equipments, and you have to predict their failure, because the ones that are given in the books they generally don't adhere to, right? So based on the environment, the remaining useful life can change, and that's what you can do. You can create a very specific app just for predicting downtimes or remaining useful life of these equipments.
Yang saya tanya, misalnya blueberry ada punya yang frozen, yang didinginkan. Berapa 1 kilo? 1 buku.
Is that a question or is just somebody talking in between? Okay, I assume somebody's just talking. Okay, so how do we benefit customers using our platform? Basically, we provide this improved performance, because one of the challenges that customers face when they are not using a platform is the speed, because it takes a lot of time for them to build a model and then deploy the model and that is accurate enough. So accuracy is another thing. We always are able to beat the accuracy of handwritten, hand-coded models, and this has been proven hundreds of times with all our large customers. So we have feature level control. We have the latest version of all major open source packages, so you don't have to worry about downloading the latest version of TensorFlow or PyTorch or XGBoost, because we kind of package all the state-of-the-art models within our platform. And in fact, our engineers are co-developers of some of these algorithms as well. For example, XGBoost is being contributed by our CTO himself, right? The trust is built because we are able to even explain NLPs or time series or computer vision models, which are making use of deep learning algorithms, which is not easy to explain otherwise. So we have been working with universities like MIT and Stanford and their professors to actually build this space of explainable AI or interpretable AI or responsible AI, where we have created frameworks just to explain the models once they have been built, right? So that it can be signed off by the business and will not be questioned by the auditors or the regulators. Right? In terms of scalability, it can support big data. It runs on it can handle distributed learning. And as you would have seen, NVIDIA is one of the investors, so we can actually run on GPUs. So this is one of the only commercially available software platforms that can leverage GPUs for machine learning. So if you look at others which are leveraging GPUs like TensorFlow, they are all open source algorithms, right? So a commercially available platform, we are the only one which can leverage the GPUs, right? Or using on our platform. And not only that, we can also leverage multiples. So we can not only scale vertically, but we can also scale horizontally, that is across multiple GPU servers, right? We make use of Optuna for hyperparameter optimization and also use GPUs not just for training but also for feature engineering and optimization stuff. In terms of flexibility, we still have enough within our platform because this is based on our experience from open source. So even if you're a very advanced data scientist, you can still plug in and enhance our platform using custom recipe approach. And we have already built in the third-party model support. So if you have models that have been built prior to our platform on scikit-learn or using other open source platforms like PyTorch or TensorFlow, you can deploy them on our platform. So we do support third-party models. You can import and export these experiments, and you can use this further to customize and build a custom app for addressing your business requirements. Right? So if you look at what we are doing is we are trying to foster the collaboration between the data scientist and the business user here, right? And in order to do that, we are making sure that our platform is able to provide enough resources and tools for developers, for machine learning engineers, for DevOps guys, and also for customers to just consume this on the browser, right? So the collaboration platform that we provide is not just for building models, but also for DevOps to deploy the models and for customers to consume the models, right? That's how we are addressing this. And if you look at, one of the strategic transformation projects, then what happens is, you define the use case, you then quickly build some models by doing some experimentation. You then try to integrate it with the business process where, it will be used for making that decisioning. And then you enable your business users to start using it instead of the old rule-based systems. And then you keep evolving from what you have built to further, enhance models. Now, some customers are at this stage where they have started using open source, and they are continue to evolve and improve the accuracy of those models, or some of them could be just at the beginning of the strategic transformation journey. So one such example of a customer, and this will be my last slide, is Commonwealth Bank. So Commonwealth Bank is one of our recent investors as well, and they have adopted this platform for the last 2 years, where they started with the retail business, where they started with very simple use cases like customer churn, customer acquisition, cross-sell, upsell. So they started defining, and they have like about 30 plus projects, which are basically now using H2O models. They were experimenting with our platform, and then they integrated with the business processes, and enabled the business users in the retail business. And they are at this stage where now the risk business has also come in. So the risk side of CBA, which is Commonwealth Bank, is now using it for use cases like anti-money laundering, fraud detection within ATM frauds, or ATM optimization. Those are all advanced use cases where they have started now adopting H2O. So we have more than, I would say today, about 100 users or data scientists within CBA, which is just building the models. And then there are thousands of users which are consuming these models. And as a result, 2 days ago, CBA announced the investment of $100 million in H2O, where they are now not only a customer, but also an investor in H2O, because they believe in this platform and they believe in this technology. As a result of this investment, we have been barred from selling to any other Australian bank. So we can't, for the next 4 years, sell into any other Australian bank. That is the kind of traction that we are having with Commonwealth Bank right now, where we can only sell to CBA for the next 4 years, and not any other bank in Australia. But other banks in Asia are okay, right? So this is our, I would say, the biggest customer in the region right now. But apart from that, we also have a lot of manufacturing customers, like Petronas is in oil and gas, one of our largest customers in Malaysia. We have DBS Bank. We have got other customers like Sinhan Bank in Korea, HDFC in India. We've got big manufacturing giants like Toyota, ASEAN Siki. We have got Panasonic in Japan. We have got LG in Korea, who are all adopting this platform in Asia, at least. So with this, I think I have come to the end of my presentation, and I really appreciate this opportunity to be able to, present this to the team today in Indonesia, and hopefully, I would be, looking forward to, meeting some of you guys face to face, as COVID is almost around the end, and hopefully travel will begin soon. And let's see, how we can help each other in your strategic transformation journey. Thank you, everyone. I'm open to any questions. If there are any last minute questions, I guess we have got still 3 to 5 minutes left in the time allocated. Let me see if there's any questions in the chat. Sure, I will share the PDF version of this deck with